You know what? I think I need permission to exist. Why am I saying that? Because I just ran across one of the most awesome YouTubers I've ever encountered. Because this person is really, really, really proficient in the things that I talk to you guys about every single day in a narcissistic, toxic workplace environment. But this person, this woman, right, permission to exist, was really on her game in this video. And she was talking about, in the toxic workplace, how high performers will always fail when they're dealing with narcissistic bosses. Always. And that is because this is all about a game, folks. This is all about a game. They'll have you sweating just like I'm doing right now. It's all about a game. In a narcissistic workplace environment, you know, you'll never get the answers you're looking for when you're going to your bosses for help or you're seeking advice or something, because they're going to steer you in the wrong direction. It's all a game. You know, if you have any type of qualities that make you exceptional and make you one of these workers that, you know, people must have, you know, in the workspace, then they're going to hate you for that. They're going to slowly but surely resent you for all of your great qualities and all of your good work ethics, because they don't have any. And they'll call you in the office sometimes and they'll talk about, you know, and I heard her speak on this in the video about these games where they'll say everyone's talking about you or everyone's saying this or that. And they'll never provide you with any concrete thing that's being said about you. You know, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you'll say, well, give me an example, and they can't give you one because there is no example. And that is part of the gaslighting games that the narcissistic bosses will play in the toxic work environment. Also, the people, you know, you encounter, your co-workers, all of the people that you work with, your bosses, they're all in bed, right? And she spoke on this about companies, you know, who have a culture of toxicity in narcissistic environments, and I think she called them narcissistic safe havens. See, this is why this woman is awesome. You guys go to her channel. Go to her channel. I'm not playing with you guys, because this woman is awesome. Every single thing that she spoke on in her video, I can directly relate to because I have experienced it in my life, right? I have actually experienced every single thing that she spoke on in her video in different times of my life, different jobs. Didn't matter what I was doing, whether I did an office job or, you know, whatever I was doing. But a lot of this stuff, like I told you, is clinical, because the people who shouldn't be your bosses somehow keep managing, you know. And really, when you're dealing with a toxic workplace culture, the hierarchy, they're all narcissistic, and they only want their kind. So when you wonder why, if you're such a good worker and you do your job and, you know, you're not getting your raises, or, you know, someone else who came much later than you at this job is now your boss, because that person would be willing to lie, cheat, and steal if necessary, and they have all of the right attributes for the narcissistic employer. Now, she talked about how in the future there may be something different going on with these companies when they start losing money, high turnover. Someone's going to start going back to the drawing board and looking at this and thinking to themselves, we could save more money, we could increase productivity if we just do something. That one thing will require you to literally rip out of the walls, the fabric of these companies, the narcissistic bullshit, you know, which is greatly and heavily entrenched into these environments. Everyone is a narcissist in these environments, or they're just dumb. You know, clueless people in some ways annoy me more than the actual narcissists themselves, because at least those people have a purpose. At least they know that they want to destroy you. They're hell-bent on destroying you, and they're going to do that, right? They have a goal. But when you're talking about a flying monkey or some clueless fool, You know, they can be led off of a bridge over a cliff or something because they don't think. You know, when you need people, like I always tell you guys, when you need people to think or be engaged, they never want to be when they have to, or when there's some reasons that will push them into that direction. They don't want to, they resist heavily. But something dumb, right? Something trivial, some gossip, slander, or something negative, you know, you'll have a team on your side for these things. A great support network of assholes. They'll protect these people though. You'll go to your bosses and you'll say, well, so-and-so left me doing this or doing that, or, you know, I have a heavy workload. Can I please get some assistance? Can you get a team together to help me do this project or something? And they'll give you this complete runaround. They'll say, go talk to so-and-so. They're your boss. And if you remember in previous conversations, or maybe in evaluations or something, they probably would have told you to always come to them because they can get you help and they can make sure that you got what, you know, have everything you need. And they'll talk they'll use this word salad, like I keep telling you, this mind fuckery that they like to do so much. You know, and as soon as you go to them for that help, it's not available. You know, how'd you guess? You know, it's not available. And they'll send you to some other person, some other asshole. Go talk to so-and-so. They know this or that. You'll go to that person. That person says, oh, I don't know. Go talk to that person. Now, keep in mind, the whole time there's an objective here. There's a job that has to be done here. You know, if you're a shipping company, maybe you have a huge order to ship. If you're a restaurant, maybe you have a huge group of people coming in or something. But there'll always be business attached to these games. And the people who have authoritative power to influence how this is going to go, they're childish. They're crazy. So they're never going to do the right things. They're never going to make the right decisions. Everything that they do or say, or any decisions they make, will be always in the mode of self-gratification. You know, if there's a bigger bonus that the company's handing out, they'll steal that bonus and they'll make sure all of the people who kiss up to them and all of the cohorts and you know, co-conspirators, they'll make sure these people are taken care of. Even though you do more work than they do. You'll find yourself working years and years and not getting the raises you want or the bonuses or something. You know, every evaluation, they'll tell you that you met the standard and you didn't exceed, even though you remember when they had you literally driving off a cliff or something, you know, during a work day or something, and all you got for that on that day was a coffee cup or something. You know, we really appreciate you climbing out there on that cliff and almost risking, you know, breaking your neck and risking your life. But, you know, we have something for you to commemorate that experience for you. Here's a coffee cup. Here's a coffee mug. You know, and if they're really crazy, it'll have some type of date or something, some event that you guys worked on that was really busy and you know, took a lot out of you. And they'll commemorate that event by putting that date on the cup and putting, you know, we made it, or some foolish slogan or something. But you did all the work. They didn't do anything. When it's time for a bonus, they'll sit in there with the higher ups and they'll beat their chest about how they got this done or that done and leave you out of it. You don't factor into anything because they want to devalue your position, right? They know that you shine. They know that you have great qualities, you know? And then they'll play these games, you know, because dealing with narcissistic bosses can really, I mean, it's just a lot on you. And you'll find yourself starting to question, how long are you going to last at this job? You know, because when you came in the door, like she was talking about, you were the best. And I've had that happen to me. You're getting awards. People are always talking about you. And that's when they realize, we got to bring this guy down. This guy is rising too high. And that's why I told you, when you make up these exit plans, do something better than what you were doing. Move into a higher realm of living. And that's how you win. That's how you get your payback. You don't even want to, you know, these low life people. I've seen a lot of these people come back to jobs and they'll say, yeah, I got a better job and blah, blah, blah. And they're standing around at the job that they used to work at. Why are you standing around at a job? You don't have anything else better to do? You know, you reek of of needing validation. You reek of it. You know? But all of these coworkers, all of these people seem to get along, even including with the bad bosses that you hate so much. But everyone else will love these people and they'll love them. You're the only person that's out of this little, you know, love circle. No one included you in it because we don't like you. We don't like your kind. You know, you're too busy trying to get your work done. You're too busy trying to take the high road all the time. You don't want to sit over here with us assholes and, you know, and you'll have all of that stuff that they do. Not realizing that maybe you know that they're just shit bags and you just don't want to smell shit. You're trying to have your break in peace. You just don't want these people around you. You're tired of looking. You can't stand or barely can stomach 8 hours a day with these people. You know, you'll never be able to satisfy a narcissistic boss. You will always get set up for failure, always. No matter what it is. If you don't inquire or ask questions or something, then you'll find yourselves tangled up in situations. Things that you needed to know. They won't tell you these things. They'll tell everyone else. People who aren't even doing your project or working on it. They'll know everything. You can go to them and get all of the information that was readily given to them, right? But when you go to that boss, you get smokescreen. You get stonewalled. And that's because they want you to fail. Then they'll have those days where one day they're happy and they're greeting and nice and kind to you and, you know, they act like they adore you. And then the next day, they're very cold and callous. You can feel their energy. If you're empathic like me, you can feel that they don't want you around, or they have some kind of bitterness towards you. For no reason, though. You haven't done anything. All you did was come to work and do your job, and you didn't play into the bullshit. You didn't kiss up. You didn't feel that you needed their validation because you knew who you are, or you knew who you were in those situations. And that's what I always caught hell with, because, you know, in my situations, and a lot of times I told you guys I was in supervisory positions, and, you know, I would have the boss berate me in front of my subordinates. Just to show me who's boss. Just to say that, you know, yeah, they're underperformers, but, you know, I'm the boss. You don't get to say that they need to do their job or they need to stop doing whatever they're doing that's causing a problem in the workplace. And that's why I always say this too. If you're a company and you're actively employing narcissistic assholes, then if you lose money, if your business folds, shit on you. You understand what I'm saying? Shit on you. You deserve what you get, right? Because you probably are just like those people, and that's why when you had a list of applicants, you picked the one you thought was the best, right? How come that person is the worst person that some of these people who work under this person, they're the worst boss that these people have ever seen in their lives? However, you thought that they were great. See how that works? You're an asshole just like they are. You really are. You can't win the game, people. You can't win the game. You know? You'll find yourselves trying to win all the time. You'll find yourselves trying to compete to win that game. But you always get smacked down. You always find yourself on the losing end. You don't understand, do you? It's a game. You'll never win. So once you get into these workplace environments, and I'll sum this up. Once you get into these workplace environments, what you want to do is make sure that you scope out the scene first 2 weeks or something, check out the people, and see if it's doable. Now, after 2 weeks, you're going to be entrenched there for a while. Maybe you could just leave on the spot or something, but, you know, decent people put in 2 weeks notice, so you at least have to give them 2 weeks after that 2 weeks. You get what I'm saying? So you'll be there for about a month or something before you really, you know if you're dealing with narcissistic people, a culture of narcissists or whatever. And that is when you need to plan your escape early, right? But if you're there and you've been there for a while and years, you're probably not going to make it to your retirement. If you're a target, they're going to figure out some kind of way to get you out of there. They're going to get a foul on you if you never had one before. So you'll go from being an employee of the year type of person to them saying that you don't get along with your coworkers and this and that and that. And they'll make up all of this shit. They never question any of the people that have a problem with you, though, even though those people are clearly mentally disturbed in most cases. It's all a culture, folks. They'll close ranks for these other assholes. You know? I love bad behavior, folks. But what I really, really love, I really, really like, is the permission to exist. Having that. You guys go check out this YouTuber. She's awesome. She knows what she's talking about. She knows her stuff. A lot of her things that she's discussed, I have personally experienced these things, and I can vouch that she knows what she's talking about 100%. Please check her out. And for you other folks out there, same folks too, come check out my channel. I Love Bad Behavior. Check out my book, I Love Bad Behavior. It's on Amazon, right? It's also on my website. Come over, thinkbehavior.info, and pick that up. You know, but grab on to the fact that if you're at these jobs and you have already figured out that everyone is a toxic player, you know, you need to fold, right? Cut and run. Y'all have a good day.